realized you two were close.
You're sorry? How dare you speak his name, healer?
You don't blame me. You blame yourself. I know because I did the same.
You know nothing.
Folatild.
By Ysmir, I should have stayed with him.
Relax, you two. We don't know that he's dead for certain, but we don't have time to assume anything else.
So does this mean you're going to help?
I didn't say that. As I told the Thane, I won't commit my men on a path to treason until you prove the girl is of royal blood. But obviously, with Larston missing, I'm willing to provide some aid. But first, you must tell me where this child is being held.
To be honest, I'm curious myself. Healing the child is my sole responsibility.
Child? You two don't get it. There is no child.
What? What do you mean?
It was years ago. The Jarl of Whiterun asked me to find a boy in Cyrodiil. He never said why. It wasn't a rescue. It was a kidnapping. But I convinced myself it was the right thing. But the boy came home. He said he was looking for the heir to Ysgramor. He never realized he was looking for himself. Larston is your bastard king. The blade is to be forged with his blood.
Unbelievable. Why would he hide this from us?
He doesn't know. When the boy was kidnapped, my orders were to kill anyone who came looking for him. I would have killed him too, if we hadn't met that day on the hillside. Maybe it was a mistake. It all seems that way now.
So he thinks you're the queen. When were you planning on telling him?
I don't know.
Ah, what am I doing here then? Are you asking that my men commit treason to put a ghost on the throne?
You said it yourself. He could still be alive.
And even if he is, what state will his mind be in? We don't have much time before he breaks.
Then we should do our best to find him.
It wasn't all lies, you know. That story about the saber cat. It was the only real thing we could ever share.
He spoke about that day often. How he was lost in thought, ambling up that hillside.
That sounds like him. He was so busy thinking. He never saw the saber cat until he was halfway down its stomach.
From that moment and every day after, his thoughts were always of you. Keep him in your prayers. As Kara said, he may still be alive yet. So the letter arrived, just not in time. We were ambushed. Yes, likely the same group that attacked you in Riverwood. The blood of Skyrim. To be honest, there were no more than half a dozen. They didn't need numbers, just the element of surprise. It was a dangerous gambit. They cut themselves on purpose, knowing I would check their wounds. The amount of discipline required. These men were well trained. I had just finished healing the last of them when the mace hit my skull. I lost consciousness, but by the Atronach's blessing, I managed to survive. Unfortunately, when I awoke, both the Thane and the soldiers were gone. Yes, and that was surprising. Still, it doesn't change anything. The ritual is perilous, regardless of the person's age or constitution. I don't agree with the idea of risking anyone's life, nor do I believe the Thane's claim to the throne is particularly strong. But I cannot stand idly by and let him perish. If we find him, and he still wants to go through with it, I'll heal him. Then you should relay that to Kara's Dragonborn. With the Thane gone, it would be best to defer to him.
When the Thane looked upon this axe, he saw a symbol of peace, a way to unite every Nord under the kin of their greatest ancestor. What I see is a weapon, one powerful enough to slay a god, because in the end, the only peace that ever lasts is the kind brokered through fear. Tell me, Dragonborn, what do you think makes a ruler? Does the boy have a chance? That's the question I want answered. Does the boy have the blessing of the Divines? He doesn't appear that way now. Every warrior needs an axe, and every king needs an army. I wonder if Larsden will be able to forge either. Forged from the bones of Borges himself, apparently, and the blood of his bastard kin. The edge is so sharp it dulls quickly, and only responds to the right blood. Thus it is proof of one's lineage, but not one's valor. For that, there is another ritual. The slaying of a beast, said to be the very monster that slew Borges. Any good news is welcome. Although obviously, things have changed now that we know Larsden is the king. We take 2 steps forward only to stumble 3 steps back. At this rate, we're better off waiting for the next king's mood. Soldiers on both sides of the war. Sons and daughters who grew tired of the choice between Ulfric's ambition and the Empire's incompetence. We all continue to serve faithfully, while at the same time, we serve Skyrim above any who wears a crown. If Thane Larsden, if he is what's best for this land, then we will all turn our cloaks to his colors. But you'll excuse me if I have my doubts. The boy has proven nothing yet, and I won't ask my men to be rebels for a lie. Follow me. I don't want to discuss this in front of the girl. These were the previous occupants of this shack. Dragons got them, it seems. Burned by fire, trying to light their own. In many ways, that is what this ritual is. It's a flame. And it's my job to make sure it's used correctly. I know of Gren and his claim. I know he's kidnapped Larsden, and he plans to trade him for the axe. I thought if Foletild was made aware, she would trade both the Child Queen and the axe to save him. But if Larsden is the king, I don't know if he'll make for a good ruler. Something tells me this whole thing is a fool's endeavor. But what I do know is Gren cannot be allowed to take the throne. He is the kind of torch that will set all of Skyrim aflame. You've seen his methods. Attacking people inside taverns, breeding werewolves, and gods know what else. Now imagine what he'd be capable of if he had 30 times the resources. But it's time you saw for yourself. I want you to meet him. This letter was meant for Folatild, but it's best if you go. Tell Gren we don't care if he kills Larsden. The axe will be forged with the child's blood. No, because her knowing is the best way to get him killed. She'll trade the axe for him in a heartbeat, and they'll realize how important he is. This is a game of high-stakes iron hearts. We've been dealt a bad hand. The only way to win is to bluff. Besides, if you know anything about love, there's no chance she's given up hope.
Так что нужно делать?
When you go there, I want you to talk to his men. Remember, you're the Dragonborn. People look up to you. If you can learn something, anything about his whereabouts, we might be able to save him. Just remember who you are, and what's at stake. Good luck.
Hold on. I'm coming with you.
No. Folatild is suspicious enough as it is. It's best you stay here.
If we find the Thane, you're going to need a healer. I'm the only thing that can stand between him and Aetherius.
Fine. But you two damn well better succeed. There's been enough mourning for one day.
Let's go. Hopefully someone at their camp will betray the Thane's whereabouts.
My dog was twice named. Gorwolf the Eagle-Eye, Gorwolf the Bowhand. But I wouldn't remember your sorry lot if you shot my own children.
You're not
Well,
supposed
maybe I would, seeing as it would be a
to be in
miracle
here.
if you managed to hit anything. Only the best have the privilege of serving under
I don't
Lord Dredd. The rest of you can spend your days with a war teacher in Vile Gulch Tower.
Oh, for the love of Talos, Bruin, let her in.
That's a good shot. But not good enough for our Lord Gren, second coming of the Harbinger. Put your back into the draw. Follow through on the shot. I don't want to see a single arrow hit outside the bullseye.
Stormcloak or Imperial?
When you cock your
Прошу
bow,
прощения.
make sure you
Which
have the
side are
same
you defecting
anchor
from, the
point.
Stormcloaks or the Empire?
Consistent draws make for consistent shots.
Fresh meat then. Gren loves those. It makes for a more cohesive unit. You can get your uniform from the Quartermaster, Frigg. Let me know if you have any further questions. Former Imperial tents. The distinction is rather important, especially for many of the soldiers here. For the ex-Legionnaires, it makes them feel at home. For the ex-Stormcloaks, they like the idea we stole the tents from the Empire. It really comes down to craftsmanship, however. If the Stormcloaks made better tents, we would have killed them instead. To be honest, for my brother, Brune, he used to be a farmhand, and back then everyone called him Ox. Gren was the only one in town who bothered to learn his name. Sometimes he'll curse him out or have a laugh at his expense, but the one thing he'll always do is call him by name. As for me, I promised Ma and Pa I'd look after my little brother, so here I am. Stormcloak or Imperial? I don't need to. I can tell by the timbre of your voice that you aren't a Nord, which means my previous question was irrelevant. If you're a peddler, talk to the quartermaster, Frigg. He'll buy any goods you have to offer. Prisoners of war. They'll either be given the choice of joining the blood, or dying of blood loss. That's not a question you should be asking if you want to keep your head. Do I have to walk you to him? He's the Nord in the apron on the southeast end of the camp, near all the smithing tools. He's a good smith, and a decent man, even if he is one of Eldritch's. The war teacher. Outside of that senile old man Ulfrin, he's the only one around here that knows anything about these rituals. Gren sends him a few of the lesser recruits every now and then for training. None of them ever come back. Except Frigg. When our previous blacksmith fell ill, Frigg returned to replace him. He mostly keeps to himself, but when he does talk, it's rather strange. I'm not entirely sure. It's a fancy name for a court wizard, I think. Frigg is the first one who said it, and now Gren has taken to the name, if only sarcastically. You'd have to ask Eldritch about that. He's the one who handles the ritual. Gren handles the military side of things. Of course, it was different when Ulfrin was here, but the old fool lost his mind. Now Eldritch is the only authority on the subject. That's not an easy question to answer. Does a Jarl have control over his apothecary? In most matters, yes, he could sentence the apothecary to death if he wished, but if the Jarl were to get sick, he'd have no choice but to listen. Very well, but make it quick. Stormcloak or Imperial?
Dragonborn, how nice it is to finally meet you. You're far more beautiful than the rumors give you credit for, and I'm relieved for that. You see, my charges are a faithful lot, and not the most pleasant to look at. Flattery will get you everywhere, my friend. Please, have a goblet of wine. I assure you it's imported from some place extremely hard to spell. I prefer mead myself, but my war teacher swears by these wines. I wish you were here to explain what vintage this is, but he's a bit preoccupied right now, torturing your friend. Oh, come on now. You know which one I'm talking about. Or maybe you don't. I recall asking for the Thane's house, Carl. You seem far more indifferent. Very clever on her part sending you, but it won't work. Your friend's life is in the balance, but you can save him. It all depends on how you answer this question. Where is my ex? Yes, because the best thing for Skyrim is to put someone on the throne who spends their free time putting coins up her nose. But fine, if that's the way you want to play it, then just tell the quartermaster where you live, so we know where to send the body parts.
Don't worry. You did just fine. Our appearance alone will make him think Larson has more value alive.
When it's raining, I want you out here. When it's snowing, I want you out here. When the leaves are falling in your eyes, you need to be out here. So, you've met our Lord Gren, twice returned, harbinger of us all. I'm sure you were impressed. Aye. As fine as the day he first set shore on this land and drove the foul-hearted to Solstheim. Unfortunately, these milk drinkers aren't exactly Froa and Grosta. At this rate, we ought to put the armor on the targets and make these three the dummies.
Bren mentioned a war teacher.
Ah, you mean Eldritch. Frigg would know more about this, but I think the war teachers of old were wise men, as opposed to instructors like me. He calls him a lot of names. War teacher, old seer, and the like. The rest of us just call him creepy. But as long as he recognizes our Lord Gren as the harbinger of us all, I have no problem with the man.
This freak sounds interesting, but we should make sure we talk with everyone.
From this day on, you will only think of the target. When you wake up, when you go to sleep,
They sung of the return. 500 sons
when
and
you look at the
daughters.
clouds,
A battle
I
cry
want
to
you
banish the
see
old
a
from the
target.
snow-drenched earth.
When you make love to
And
your
they sing
son,
once more,
I want
for he
you to
will come,
imagine their
twice
face
named,
in the target.
and now twice returned.
Train
Lord
your eyes
Ishgramor,
until all
harbinger
you
of
see
us
is the
all.
white in the middle.
Hail,
As if it were
mighty
the whites
oarsman.
of your enemy's
I
eyes.
am Frigg, the builder. I craft the earthen longboats to sail the honor bearers so we might end the days of the old sin.
Knowing your range is key to being an effective archer.
Such is the way. I now give the nameless weapons, but only through glory is their name earned. But the war teacher said you would come, for he who is named Dovahkiin will be named a friend. Armor you do not need, but a boat you shall have, so that which came by force shall return by will. The nameless call him a mage in their idleness of mind, but magic the war teacher does not wield. He draws the lifeblood from the animal spirits, and when Kain's blessing first received, even the nameless are glory-born. The war teacher is wise to put Kain's hand in his, so that the treacherous fear even those without oars. When the beasts walk, a trail they will blaze, so no wicked will stand between the sight of our Lord when he is twice returned. Then the oarsmen will row upon sundered earth. From false kings we claim this land that was once free. Adrimk the Wise taught the Nameless to use axes, and showed the Shield brothers and sisters how war is made. But he was also a wise man, a teacher of courage to guide one's path from children to men. As time has passed, we are all knowledge given, all experts of war. But what we have lost is the way. Eldritch, the Overseer, he shows the path, back to the beginning, to change the end. This I cannot reveal. The war teacher, he is the speaker. To him all ears are trained. I am the builder, and will craft the boat, so you may hear the cresting of his waves. the war teacher sounds the horn, so that all hear your name. Go to him, hoist the mast and set sail south to a mill of Heart's Wood. When rest is gained and the day is born, sail upon dew-splashed seas of green to the ruins where stone bleeds wind.
The Mill of Heart's Wood is obvious enough. We should probably head there first anyways, and see if the residents are safe. In all likelihood, this is a trap.
That's a good
Even
shot.
so, it
But
doesn't
not
appear as
good
if
enough for
Gren is
our
around.
Lord Gren. Second coming of the Harbinger. Put your back into the draw. Follow through on the shot. I don't want to see a single arrow.
Steve make us swift.
Что-то нужно? All right, hand over your valuables, or I will gut you like a fish.
I suppose I could be, but then there'd be no reason to fight.
Last mistake. Die, you filthy fetter!
Что это было?
Сюда приходи.
Well, traveler, try as we might. It looks like we can't go more than 50 paces without running into each other. Sure, but Skyrim's like one big circle. Eventually, we'll end up right where it all began. In the pond the Nords call a marsh. So, tell me, what brings you to the rift? Only they all dress the same. And they've been forcing the farms to ration them supplies by order of the High King. Ha! Maybe they ought to rule together. You know what they say? 2 bad kings are better than 1. In any case, we can head straight west from here. Once we hit the mountain, just look for the columns with the eagle heads. So tell me, priest, what's this group done exactly that has you chasing after them?
They're holding an important man. The former Thane of Whiterun.
If he's a former Thane, he isn't all that important anymore, is he? Unless there's something else you're hiding.
He might be the High King.
You mean another one?
Possibly the only one. But that isn't for us to decide. Nor should it be.
Да?
Old ruins. Nordic by
Я
the
ставлю
looks
на
of it.
границу. Эй, смотри, что творишь!
So if I understand this right, this quartermaster told you where to find his war teacher?
It's clear he wants us to find him. But I'm not sure why.
Maybe he's just lonely. Have you considered that?
You're right. I should have realized the answer was so obvious.